this is going to be exciting. We've got the odd couple that we like to call them.
Odd couple.
The odd couple is
I love
here.
these guys.
I know, right? They're sweethearts. Yeah, they're pointing at each other, and let's kick it off. Why don't we get into it? Tom, man, we got Tom Bissonnette, we got Ryan Smith, and Tom has been a part of the collision industry back when we were fixing, what was it, dinosaurs, I think, wasn't it? So
Fred Flintstone's car.
it was Fred Flintstone. Yeah. He's been around
yeah.
forever. Just a genuine sweetheart of a man. Somebody I personally look up to. And he's been doing this since 1982. In 2016, he sold 90% of his shops to his employees. I think I saw Chelsea on here at one point. I don't know if she can wave, but she's in the crowd somewhere. That's one of them. Just absolute rock stars, created an incredible shop with an incredible team. Another one that we have with us, of course, is Ryan Smith. And of course, the best thing about him is his first name. There's something extra special about it. And us Ryans, we got to stick together. Long story short, Ryan is with Saskatchewan Government Insurance and has done incredible things over there as well, all the way from, finding unique ways to work with body shops. And this is why we have them here. So welcome, gentlemen. We want to ask you a few questions and get things kicked off here.
Sure.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is going to be great. So one of the things that we often look at is shops and insurance companies are sometimes at odds. They find this friction. We got to hear from John this morning about how well he's working with his insurance partners over there. You guys have found and forged really unique relationship between the insurance company and the body shops.
It's
Can
like
you
nothing
tell us
I've
a little
seen
bit
anywhere.
about? Yeah, this is totally unique. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Tom, do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead, Ryan. We
The
talked a
odd
little bit
couple.
about
We're going to
They
start a
love-
fight
they
right
love
now,
each
right
other.
off the start.
Right now. I just told everybody that you're getting along and they're starting to fight. I don't know.
No, this is great. No, I think, for us, it happened kind of naturally or organically. And I know our relationship for, decades has had peaks and valleys, but we really united around 2018 in safety. And that really was, I think, the piece that gave us momentum. And also just this commitment that the customer can't have the experience that we want if we aren't working together, if we aren't listening to each other, being open-minded, and it was open communication. And so I think that's how it started. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, like we talked earlier, the initial thing was we wanted a safe and quality auto repair. We both agreed with that. And we just had the right people at the right time get on the bus and in the right seat on the bus. One of the key guys for Ryan is Kieran Downs, who is the guy in charge of physical damage. And he's an engineer by training, and he ended up, when he first worked with SGI, he worked in the vehicle inspections branch. So he was very involved in, proper repairs. And
I've met him. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and sharp, and he likes to talk over you a little bit, but that's okay. That's another story. Anyway, he's Irish. What can I say, right? But you know what? He got it. He understood, quality and safety is important. And Ryan came along after the fact. He's actually you're the longest standing VP I've ever dealt with, Ryan. That's amazing.
Don't say it out loud, Tom, without knocking on wood.
No. Anyway, yeah, exactly. But what Ryan is that he's an accountant by background, but he's a kind of a car guy, and he's got a Camaro on the go he's been working on for 18 years, I think. But anyway, he understood right away the concept of safe and quality repairs. And one of his statements was, we can't unknow what we know. And, they embarked on a very, I think, courageous thing to go out and just actually put in a program in Saskatchewan we call it Safe and Quality Auto Repair Program. We like to make acronyms in auto body, so we call it SCARP. And basically, they put a very stringent line of controls of training and equipment on the industry, saying you got to meet this or you're done. And tough thing is that we did lose about 20% of our shops.
Wow.
And that's not easy when you're in a government insurance market where they can phone their MLA and say, Ryan Smith is picking on me. But our goal was pretty clear. We wanted to make sure we had vehicles fixed properly. So that's where it started. Maybe you can take it from there, Ryan.
Yeah. It seems like, the more shops I talk to, especially since COVID, the claims process has lengthened. It hasn't shortened at all. It's taking forever for people to go out and do their adjusting and re-inspections and prepare the supplements. It's really getting insane. And we think it's just an erosion of trust amongst other things. We talk a lot about the speed of trust. So what are you guys doing at SGI to speed up the claims process? You know, because you have a more of a trusting relationship than a lot of shops would in the States or other places.
Well, I'd say I think like everything, it's going to be a constant evolution. We're never going to be there. I don't think Tom's ever going to be happy for his members, and we recognize that there's always sort of ways we can improve. We've tried to first by implementing, I think about 2 years ago, a high performance partner program, and this really came from I think some humility on our side, and that we don't know everything, and maybe we weren't listening as much as we should have listening for. And so through the town halls, we came back with some ideas, and Tom had been really kind of feeding this to us over time, and maybe we weren't hearing it. But one of the pieces was you can't always be using sticks. There's got to be carrots there. And so trying to design programs that exactly sort of incorporate that trust. You're a high performing shop. You've proven that. What additional autonomy can we give you? And honestly, it's been a bit of a challenge with there's such diversity within Tom's membership that we found as we surveyed and tried to design a program, their desires are a little bit different. Just the fact that we do post-repair audits, some shops preferred that actually they were okay with some administration on the front end, so long as they never got audited down the road. Other shops, to your point, Dave, said, no, just trust us. Let us write the whole estimate, let us do the repair, and we're comfortable that we can supply the documentation and defend the work that we did when we do our audits down the road. So it's a work in progress. That was sort of dipping our toe. We're going through a big transition, a transformation right now with new systems, which I think will open some doors for us in terms of both data and recognition of high performance, and then hopefully keep working with industry on, okay, what could the carrots look like to flow from that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, one of the things that we've been seeing, we've already heard from a lot of experts this morning around EV vehicles. We're seeing a lot of things advance from the telematic standpoint with the vehicle manufacturers. We have the OEMs coming on later today, or they're going to be talking about some of this stuff. But how is SGI, adapting to the speed of change with when it comes to electronics and technology and EVs? How are you guys staying ahead of that or trying to keep up with it, as it were?
Definitely some humility there as well. Within the region, we're competitive across Canada. We're really dense in Saskatchewan, where Tom's members are. And Saskatchewan is really a slower uptake on EVs. We do have the benefit of within our family, we have a technical research area, and we've actually begun ourselves working with some of the vehicles and trying to understand exactly what is required. I think what's been important though, and what's really put pressure on us to evolve as well is, okay, these things are happening so quickly, whether it's EV, whether it's just the complexity of an ICE vehicle in general. And so I've seen a lot more heavy lifting. We've got what's called a joint technical committee, where we meet with Tom and our other association and various members. And it's really pressured us to make sure we're meeting frequently, that we're introducing governance to prioritize, which policies are the most important to research and set. And I know Tom's frustrated at times, and it's been a challenge for us to keep up because as
Tom
everyone
frustrated? I can hear Tom now. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom, like, how do you feel about that? We've certainly, I mean, you've added a lot of things to the list for that tech committee, and we're working together on this. It's a challenge.
Well, like I think one of the questions we talked about earlier, Ryan, was talking to Ryan Taylor there, was, where are the friction points there? How do you get along with the insurance companies? Well, I always say, don't discuss the door right off the bat, because the steel trap door comes down right now. They just don't want to talk to you. But when you start talking about safe and quality auto repairs and repair procedures, particularly original equipment manufacturer repair procedures, and that's where our technical committee really does a lot of good work. We meet 3 to 4 times a year, and the communication lines are open. And we're bringing up, like, we just recently had the GM checklist. Once the vehicle's in an accident, you got to check the steering column, you got to check the seat belts, you got to check this, you got to, and SGI brought that up at the meeting, not us. They brought that to us and said, you guys better start doing this, or we're going to, cause you a little bit of demerits there, buddies. So it's working good. And I think the strength is, like Ryan says, the humility to communicate and keep the lines of communication open and work together. I loved what John Parker said. I believe it was John. Basically, it's to work with people rather than against them. Like Ryan and I have said, one way or the other, we're going to do this thing. We may as well get along and make it work as best we can. Right. So that's where I think we're in a sweet spot right now, is we've got that relationship built to the point where I think we can just continue to grow from it.
Yeah, like I've told you guys before, I've spoke to associations around the world, and I've never seen this type of a relationship anywhere. So how can we, I don't know if we can ever change that, but if you could give advice on how to begin that process of working together better in the private sector, what would be some of your advice for shops and insurers?
Oh, you go, Tom.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't want to give the other competitive insurers advice.
Well, like I said,
That's fair.
I wouldn't start off talking about the door rate. I would start talking about the consumer, the customer that's getting the vehicle fixed. And I would say, we got to figure out a way to fix these cars properly, and trucks, whatever it may be. And we got to work together to figure out the best way to do that. I really believe that the insurance company could let go a little bit of that cash flow, and actually the body shops would in time let go a little bit of trying to find every nickel they can get. If we could work together, if we got paid for all the things we did, we wouldn't even need a new door rate, right? But let's understand the process. Let's understand the repair procedures, and let's get a fair payment for it. And body shops quit messing around and try and figure out ways to save money for the insurance companies. For example, we are big proponents of BTAG, advanced repair methods here.
Yeah, so are we.
And Ryan and I just had a talk the other day about, hey, you know what? If we can repair more panels, we can really reduce our cycle time. We can really reduce our severity. We can do a better job and save you guys money, but don't be so cheap. Pay us properly. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he literally said that.
Yeah, well, we have this weird relationship where exactly, I always tease Ryan. I always call him, you're the best of the worst, buddy. Just drives him crazy. But you know what? They're open, and they are talking to us, and they're working with us. And we're trying desperately to find common ground where we can help each other do the best we can. That's the way I see it. But it starts with safe and quality repairs. What it starts
I'm hearing find common ground is the first step. Ryan, what would you add to that?
Absolutely. I think for us, again, I think it was recognizing where does safety fit in our brand. And I think it fits very well in the SGI brand. And also a recognition that we need this viable industry. We're really geographically dispersed. We're about the size of Texas with a fraction of the population. And we need to keep that in mind. Our customers need service. We can't be towing these things all over the province. And so I think it's that safety recognition in the brand, the industry, the listening for, and really it was, and credit to Tom, it was that first town hall, or the series of town halls that we had across the province. And we just had momentum since that. I mean, once the dialogue started, we clearly signaled to each other that we were listening. And I think that's just, the momentum's just carried on.
Amazing. Gentlemen, truly an honor to have you. Thank you for being a shining example of what can be for our industry. And we're all inspired by you. Thank you again for coming.
Tom and Ryan.
It was great.
That's it.